Zoom is a powerful tool that many entrepreneurs are using to connect and to market better. In this video, you are in for a treat because we're going to cover screen sharing that some people don't know about. Many don't. You're going to know it, as well as backgrounds and filters and how you can use those to your advantage to up your game, make your videos look better, and profiles, and a lot more. All of that in this episode of Agorapreneurs.
Welcome to Agorapreneurs, standing for liberty and freedom, all done peacefully. Now, here is your guide, TerryBrock.
Well, hello there and welcome back. For those of you that have been watching us before, and if this is your first time, hey, welcome to Agorapreneurs. We are the place where we work with entrepreneurs, helping them to live a life of freedom and liberty loving and getting out there and doing whatever you want to do voluntarily. Not initiating force or coercion, but to voluntarily interact with others and create a lot. And in this episode, we're talking about a tool that many entrepreneurs are using called Zoom. I've been using it myself. You probably are as well. And it's a great way to connect with people. And if you know some of the extra little tips and tricks that are available, then you'll be able to get even more done. And that's why in this particular issue, we're going to cover a lot. Now, we've done one before, a video before. Be sure and check that one out as well, so you'll be able to see some what's there. And we've got several other videos on Zoom that you'll want to check out here on the Agorapreneurs channel. In this episode, we're going to talk about the very important thing of screen sharing. Screen sharing is really important. Now, we know a lot about that now. More and more people do it, but there's some extra little tricks that we're going to share. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going in here on Zoom, and I'm going to click on this little caret right here, and you see it brings up all which camera you're going to use, etc. This is the little caret right next to the webcam icon, and the one we want is right there on the bottom, video settings. So I'll click on that, and then it shows me the settings right here. Now, we've already covered the general up here, the video, and the audio in a previous video in this series. Right now, we want to focus on share screen and what that means. You might have shared screen before. Most people have by now, but there's some extra little tips that can help you a lot. Mostly, I recommend leaving the default features that are there initially, and then go back and change those that are important to you to change. Here's one that you'll want to kind of go back and forth on. As you look at what's available here, scale to fit the shared content to a Zoom window. Yeah, that's good to do that, so that way it looks easy to see, easier to see. If you have certain kinds of content, though, you might want to turn that one off. I've found that for what I'm doing, usually having it on is good. But here's one that's really important. Show Zoom windows during screen share. If you're going to use Zoom and you're going to record a video and show what's there, like for a training video, that's a real good way to do it. You would definitely want to have that one clicked. I have mine clicked quite often when I'm using Zoom to do the recording. Right now, I'm using Camtasia to record what I'm doing here on Zoom. So we got kind of like video on top of video that's there. That's why I've got it turned off. But usually you'll want to have that turned off when you're normally sharing your screen. You don't want people necessarily seeing your items like security, participants, chat, screen share. If you're going to instruct on that, or it's important for some reason for people to see that, then you click that right there, show the Zoom windows. Side-by-side mode, here's another one. It's really important. The side-by-side mode gives you the ability to have a gallery view of a lot of people on the right side, and on the left side, you would have what the person is sharing their screen to see. Matter of fact, this little question mark right here talks about that. Automatically show screen shared on the content on the left next to participants' videos, which will be over on the right. So you want to make sure you have that selected by default. I find that it's very good. It then gives you a little dial in the middle, a line that goes up and down, and you can adjust that back and forth, adjusting the size of both the screen share and the gallery view. And also silence system notifications when sharing desktop. Yep, you usually want that. You don't want some kind of a glaring notification come up while you're demonstrating to a group of people some particular feature that's really important on your screen, and then to have a notice come in, hey, you just got a message from Ferkelbobber, and Ferkelbobber really had something important. Well, that's good. We'll let Ferkelbobber do whatever but Ferkelbobber wants. So there's an advance here. Usually you don't have to worry about this very much. I would leave it on auto for your screen capture mode. This gives you the ability to the method that we use to capture the screen for screen sharing. The drop down allows you to choose different modes, and you can see what is available right here on that. You can adjust those. Usually auto is the one that will stay with most of the time. Sometimes you might want to adjust more, and you can try that. So that's what screen share is all about. Screen share gives you the ability to do a lot. There's some also hidden little features that are in chat, and that's what we're going to cover in the next section. Chat is one of the most interactive forms of working with Zoom. It's really nice when you're in a meeting that you'll be able to share ideas back and forth. You can share it to everyone. You can see what others have said, and you can also send private messages. Very nice to do that. And here's where we can set it up. You can set it up here pretty straightforward on this. Most of the default settings I found have been useful for me and my clients that I work with when I do instruction on how to use Zoom, what to do about it, and how to make that work. Show your voice message button. You probably want that there. Your code snippet button. People will be able to see those kinds of things when they're available. You can move this around your theme, putting it on different sides, etc. And most of these you can just leave normal. I would make sure that you do have the show unread message count checked, because that way you'll be able to know, hey, messages come in. You're going to be watching the content, listening to what's going on the screen, but also you'll pay attention to the chat because there can be some good messages in that. And also here, I like to start at the first unread comment, see that, and let it go all the way through. Again, the defaults on this tend to work pretty well on what is here for chat. So chat is pretty straightforward. Don't have to do a whole lot with it, and I would encourage you to enjoy it and get in there and use it a lot. And now we come to one of the most fun parts of working with Zoom, and practical parts when you're talking about business. That is with backgrounds and filters. When you're dealing with backgrounds, we're usually talking about a green screen or a virtual background. They're very similar, but there's a slight subtle difference in there. And we're going to take a look at that right now. Well, here we go. We're going to put this on here, and you're getting 2 Terrys. How about that? Because we're showing it on the screen within Zoom, but also we get it within Camtasia. So you get 2 Terrys for the price of 1. How about that? So we've got this here. Right now, we're in virtual backgrounds. You'll see on background and filters, I've clicked on virtual background. The other side of that is video filters, which we'll mention in just a moment. But first, on the virtual background here, none is where you start, and there'll be several that you can bring in. You'll see I brought in several for clients I'm working with and different applications. They can be still picture. They can also be video. So like, look what I've got right now, actual video within the video that I can put there. So if you have that, or like here, the Northern Borealis, we have that. And here's another ocean rolling in. I kind of like this. It's really nice. Or you can use standard pictures. One that I think we've all seen before is the Golden Gate Bridge. There it is. It's back there. And by the way, something you might notice going on, notice behind my head here, and as my hands come up, I see some things like that. Well, this is one of the realities of using a virtual background. Right now, that is not a virtual background. That is my real background. That's it. That's my flags, my books. This is in my office. That is not a virtual background or a green screen. But when I go into this, notice as I move around, sometimes you get that little ghosting and that funny look there. Well, that's because I do not have a physical green screen behind me. If I did, we wouldn't have that. And if you do the right lighting properly, it'll be good. Also, if you have the right kind of processors. Processors keep changing through the years. Check with Zoom, check with your computer manufacturer on what kind of chip you need to get if you want to get rid of that. But it can give you a lot of capability. I use this, for instance. You might have seen other videos I produced where I have a background against a map, the world map, and I use that kind of because I like to think internationally a lot. And then I notice my very subtle hint here, TerryBrock.com, so you can go over there and find out. But I also have it for other clients I've worked with. For instance, when I worked with Ace and did a lot of things for them as their chief retail advisor, helping them on different areas. Dentists that I've worked with, Paul Goodman does a lot with dental nachos and that theme, helping other dentists. Wonderful. And when I do presentations like for the National Speakers Association, for VIP Suite. And this gives you a little bit more professional background when you use it. By the way, one thing you might want to look into, here's a scene that I'm using legally. It's from the BBC. This is also from the BBC over in England. They released several set pictures, public domain. So now I am completely legal in using this. I can put it in there, so if I ever wanted that for a little touch or whatever, sometimes I'll say, hey, come on, first round of drinks is on me. Come on in, everyone. We'll have a good time. Just to relax a little bit. Or we're using the latest and most up-to-date news tracking services for you, something like that, and have some fun with it. There's a lot of different tools that you can use, and so use those accordingly for the virtual background. And don't forget the video filters that are there as well. Those video filters are pretty nice. Let's take a look at those right here. You see, they put these in because they knew a lot of people were using Zoom with kids. And I say it's for kids of all ages because we all can have fun. I've shown this in adult audiences with some rather sophisticated adults, and they always have fun playing with it, doing things like this. See, I'm typing on, click on the smiley face that's there, or I put myself in that little old-fashioned TV like that, or another old-fashioned TV. I kind of like this one because it gives me the ability to say, we're bringing you not something from the past, but the latest devices that are available or something like that. And those of us who are speakers, we like to be on a stage. So now I can be on a stage and feel really good or something like that. You get the idea. You've got some settings here where you could, if you want to go into black and white, notice that. You could say, long ago in days of yore, or right here a little bit more spiced up, etc., something like that. And of course, we have all of these. I'd encourage you to go play with these. See what's available there with a way that you can put yourself on the screen. This is kind of nice. Hey, I'm coming to you today right there in your living room to talk with you about an important topic, and put that in there. Also, they give the ability to use some of these things. Woohoo, yeah, there we go. I matey, yes indeed. Well, Terry could go on and on for this, but I think you get the idea. I'll turn this off and to wait. Remember to turn it off. You go back up here to the upper left corner where it has none. Click on that, and there it goes. One of the things I've seen grown adults have a lot of fun with is Studio, where you go in and you use eyebrows, mustache and beard, lip color, and all of that. Well, I would say have a good time. Play with it, experiment, and see what it's like, because all of these can be very helpful when you're working with Zoom for those backgrounds and filters. They give you a lot of capability. As you've seen, there's a lot available within Zoom. Sometimes there's little hidden gems that we didn't know existed, but they help us to present a lot better. I encourage you to keep exploring and stay with us on these series. If you saw these videos, you liked them, we've got some more that we would like to share with you right here on Agorapreneurs. And by the way, if you haven't already, please subscribe. That way you get a chance to find out about these techniques that you can use to help your clients, to help your customers, to make sure that you are an Agorapreneur, an entrepreneur who believes in freedom and liberty, and get a lot more done with these tools. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Please leave a message below, just if you like something or if there was something you didn't like. We'd love to hear from you on this so that we can address that and make sure that we give you the kind of material and the kind of educational devices that are going to help you best. I'm Terry Brock. Thank you so much for joining us today.